Good morning, gamers. I didn't see you there. But seeing as you're here, you may as well stick around for the ultimate guide to Pistons. And you might think, you know everything there is to know about Pistons. But I say to that, do you? Do you really? And you might. I'll be honest, you might know everything. But you don't know that. I could teach you something around here that you didn't actually know that might actually come in useful. So I suggest you stick around and watch, or don't, your choice. It's free world in most countries. So yeah, ultimate guide to Pistons. Before we get into it, I just want to say if you liked any of the contraptions that you saw around it, it's probably on my channel, the tutorial. And wait, hang on, let me do this properly. Let's go third person. Let's turn that off and let's zoom right in so you can see my beautiful face. Alright, if you liked any of the contraptions, it's probably on my channel, and if you liked the video, please subscribe. I might make something that's helpful to you in the future, and it'll really help because I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers, and that's all. Let's get into whatever video I'm making at the moment. Now, let's just start with something you probably do know, but let's just get it out of the way first. And so, pistons, they extend, just like that. You got two pistons, two types of pistons. Normal pistons, which, a brown face, and then this has a green face on it. Don't mean to be racist or anything, I promise. And so the green one, they're sticky pistons. They're usually more useful because you can push a block like that and it'll stick to the front, as the name suggests, sticky pistons. So that'll just stick like that, and see here, it'll also grab a block like that. So it doesn't need to be initially attached. It can be like out here, and it'll still grab it and bring it back in. And so normal pistons, let's delete that. Normal pistons, the block's out here and it won't grab it, but when you do push it, when it is attached to the face of it, it'll push and it won't bring back. So the block will stay out here, and with normal pistons, sticking pistons, obviously the block will stick. So sometimes that's actually really useful in terms of redstone builds, to have a normal piston just push it and not bring the block back with you. So yeah, that's just the first basic thing about pistons. There's a difference between pistons in Bedrock Edition and pistons in Java Edition, and that is they're a little slower with the tick speed, and that means when you have them on fast ticks like that, that piston will go at no ticks, that'll go at 1 tick. It gets a little unreliable, so what happens, what we see is that one in Java Edition, that one goes first, always. But then in Bedrock, if we do it enough times, or second time I guess, that one will go eventually. For some reason, even though it is slower, this one will still go. That one will still go. So if we just do it a whole bunch of times, and there isn't really a clear pattern in which one goes where, let's get rid of that. If we slow that one down a bit, then that one should always go first now, but then that one has a little tick while that's detracted. This one still has a little bit of power, so it'll pull in and out like that. But even at this tick speed, it doesn't always go in and out because it is still a little slower. And what you need is at least 3 ticks difference, or 2 ticks technically. Actually, maybe it's 3, 2 or 3 ticks to go, and this one will reliably go in and out every single time now, like that. If we do it a whole bunch of times, no, it's stuck on. There we go. There are 2 other big differences between Bedrock and Java in terms of pistons. Well, actually, there's a third, quasi-connectivity, but Bedrock just doesn't have that at all. There's no form of that in Bedrock, so I'm not going to include that. And so pretty much, if we put a block there, it'll update and go in and out, 1 tick. In Java Edition, what will happen is this block will remain over here. If you put a 1 tick pulse through a piston, it'll spit the block out, so it's there. And then if you do it again, it'll grab it again. So they've got block spinning, I think it's called. But what they don't have are movable containers. And I've mentioned this countless times. We can move containers that hold items like chests, dispensers, also including droppers, furnaces, hoppers, and there's probably other things as well. But we can all move them regardless of how many items are in it. And so I'll show you a few more times because I like this feature. We can move chests. There is a limit to how many blocks it can push, and this is the same in Java and Bedrock Edition. So we've got a normal piston here and a sticky piston here, and that limit is 12 blocks. So if I do that, it won't pull the block back. And if we keep placing it like this, if I can get it to do it, there we go. There are 12 blocks in front of it, and it won't push 12 blocks. And normal piston doesn't push it at all because there's too many blocks in front of it. If I get rid of, let's say, get rid of this one, wait, no, that didn't work properly. So if I get rid of this one, put one there, it'll push it because there's 11 blocks. Then put a 12th one, doesn't do anything. And this is the same with sticky pistons, although you'll probably need to put one block further because it'll hang on to that first block. And I forgot to put a block, there we go. If we just do this enough times, it'll stop. And it'll stop at the exact same length as well. So yeah, that's just the limitation of pistons. There is one more limitation, and these are what pistons can move. So obsidian, these aren't going to move it at all. So no movement there. And also, they don't move extended pistons. So if the piston arm is out, then these pistons aren't going to move it. Now, if I do that, let's bring those ones down, but keep these two up. These are going to be moved. And so normal pistons, and also, if we do that with those ones, the sticky pistons hang on to them as well, and they can be moved until one of them is extended, and that the extended one isn't going to move. And this is the same for, extended pistons on the side. This is why it's so important to get timings in piston extenders to be correct, because if this one's still extended, this piston isn't going to bring it back. And so no matter how many times, it's not going to bring it back until, if I find the switch, let's put the switch down there. And there we go. And this will now move it until I turn that back on. It'll extend, no movement. On a more useful note, there's something weird that happened with pistons where I'll set this up again over here. If I come out like this, have a torch, then put a sticky piston here, then have a block with a switch on it so it powers that sticky piston. Let's go and grab a redstone block, put that there. So I'll show you here first. If I delete that block there, the piston will extend, but every time a piston extends, whatever torch is on the side of it, that torch will turn off. And it'll do the same if I have a piston like this with a torch on the top. It'll turn off. And that's really actually useful, because if we put torches all along there, I won't put a torch there because it'll just keep powering that piston. If we do that, as you can see, the torches don't turn off. The torches just stay on. They don't give a shit about this block. But when they're on a piston, no matter what side it's on, these torches are going to go on and off like that. And that's actually really useful for compacting redstone builds and stuff. I've used it before. I've learned this quite recently, so I've started putting it in my builds quite recently. And yeah, that's just something to keep in mind whenever you're building a redstone build that involves torches and you can't really get it to turn off in a compact way. This is always available. And moving on to these, if you have an observer like this, looking straight into a piston, it'll update the observer. No matter what piston it is, sticky or normal, it's going to update it on when it goes up and update it when it goes down, because technically it is a block update. And that's the same if we put something there. Let's just have a block there. It'll turn that light on and off if it's looking at the arm as well, going up and going down. Also, you can have redstone lines on top of pistons. So on the bottom, well, I don't know if that's the top. I think that technically is the top. So if I'll show you this now. If you have redstone on the cobble texture part of a piston, the piston's always going to go, except when it's on the face of the piston. No matter what piston it is, if I can actually get a piston there, neither sticky nor normal pistons will go if the redstone's on the face of it, but they will go if the redstone's on the cobble texture part of the piston. As I said before, pistons, so sticky pistons, will grab this block. So it'll grab it and it'll pull it in and it'll pretty much stick to it after that. But now we have glazed terracotta. There's a whole variety of, designs for this, but every single one of the glazed terracotta sticky pistons just can't seem to get a hold on them. It won't, no matter how many times you try, it won't grab it. It will push it, but it won't bring it back with it. These are for sticky pistons and normal pistons. So again, now this will push it, as I said before. It'll push it and it'll bring it back, but not with glazed terracotta. And if I have missed anything in this video, please comment below. And if you think I have missed anything and you don't know what I've missed, look at the comments below, because someone may have told me, you missed this. But I hope you enjoyed.